All right, so basically they're wanting us to integrate that question. They're wanting us to find the integral of 2 plus 6x on root 4 minus x squared. That's basically what they're saying. So the bottom looks like an inverse sine, or if it was negative, an inverse cos. So if I separate it out, and then I'll end up with the 6x on the top. That looks like it'll work out nicely because, yep, that's from the advanced course or extension if you use a substitution. So I'm going to separate these out and say this is the integral of 2 on root 4 minus x squared dx plus the integral of 6x on root 4 minus x squared dx. So this one I'm going to use the fact that, I'll just scroll down a bit, for inverse sine of x, if you have this situation, f dashed of x on a root of a squared minus some f of x squared, and in this case it's quite simple because f of x is just x, but if you have that situation, then the integral of that is equal to inverse sine of f of x on a plus c, of course, and that's on the formula sheet. This one here, I'm going to use the formula from the formula sheet that the integral of, if you have the derivative of function sitting outside the actual function raised to a power, then the derivative of, the integral of that from the formula sheet, but this is just the reverse of the powers rule as we call it, will be that there, plus c, of course. So I'm going to use those two rules. I just need to do a slight bit of manipulating and I'll be fine. So for this first one here, I'll just put this in a black box because it's not actually part of the working. I'm just explaining the rules that I might use. All right, so for the first one, the derivative of the x that's on the bottom, that's the function, is just 1. So if I just write that as twice 1 over root of 2 squared minus x squared, then I'll be able to just straight deal with that. With this one here, I'm going to write it as 4 minus x squared is powered up to minus a half. Now, as you can see, you want to have the derivative of the function sitting out in front of the function. The derivative of that function is minus 2x. So if you had minus 2x sitting out in front of it, then that would nicely just straight integrate to what's given there. So I'm just going to pop a minus 3 out the front. Now I can see there could be you could use a substitution. Some people would use the substitution u equals 4 minus x squared and go ahead from there. But I'm just going to go straight from that rule rather than by doing it by a substitution. So this one here, I get 2, and it's inverse sine of x on 2. And this one here, I get minus 3. Now I'm going to follow that rule where it says to do 1 on n plus 1, right? So 1 on minus a half plus 1. So it's like 1 on a half, and then it's 4 minus x squared to the power of, and then it's a half there. All right? And then, of course, we'll have some plus c. It says find an antiderivative, so I only need one particular of them. So this is inverse sine of x on 2, and that'll be minus 6, and that's just root 4 minus x squared, because 3 divided by a half is 6. And I'll pop plus c, but because it said find an antiderivative, I believe I've answered the question.